Reggie here, your friendly neighborhood bodybuilder and comic book collector, and I want to welcome you to another one of my vlogs. In this vlog, I want to spend a little bit of time talking about a philosophy that I think is pretty well entrenched in the comic book community. It is a philosophy, it is a saying, it is a phrasing that is very much a blanket statement. Right? And sometimes what happens with blanket statements, they essentially summarize an idea, a concept, a philosophy into a few words. And in the collapsing of that idea, what sometimes gets lost is some of the meaning, some of the nuances, some of the context that might be important for someone to actually understand what this phrasing actually means. And so the phrasing that I'm talking about is this idea that low grade is better than no grade. And it's not that I disagree with this idea. It's that the idea has some nuance and texture that is lost. And I think when people utter the words low grade is better than no grade, it is a summation of some things that are lost, some nuance that is lost. And so this vlog isn't about saying that people that believe that, people that say that, people that record videos on that are wrong. That is not the case. What I am attempting to do is to offer people that hear these things a little bit of additional texture to consider. The last thing that I want is someone to hear low grade is better than no grade, and then someone to buy a really low grade book, to then get that book in the mail or whatever, open it up, have it in their hands, and have buyer's remorse, to have regret for the money that they just spent. And I don't know about you, but any money that I have, I consider hard-earned money. Right? And so if I spend my money on something, I want to have that thing, and I want to celebrate having that thing because I traded my hard-earned money for this thing. And I want to appreciate and enjoy that thing that I've traded my money for. And so people utter these words, low grade is better than no grade, and then they get it and they're like, what did I just do? Why did I buy this? Right? And I think there's a couple of things at play. There is this idea that you want the thing in your hand so that you can say, I have it, I own it, it is mine, which I think is perfectly fine. There's this other idea that you have it, you own it, and this thing is going to be worth a lot more money in the future. And you know, there's nothing wrong with those things, right? But again, in my book, sometimes it's better to save up a couple of extra dollars and get a better book that makes you happy than to get a book for a few dollars less that does not make you happy. And on the financial side, let's say your incomplete book will only be worth as much, it'll only be worth less than a more complete book that is a more attractive book. So there is always going to be a cap, if you will, on a super low grade book. So let's pause and talk about that for just a moment. So when you say low grade is better than no grade, essentially what people might hear is that I am unencumbered by the condition of the book. I am unencumbered. Any book that is out there is fair game. Right? And that includes books that are missing pages, missing spreads, missing covers, that are rusty, that are torn, that are ripped, that are taped to no end, right? When you hear low grade is better than no grade, you are unencumbered by the condition of the book. I think that that's a little dangerous. I have, for my collection, established a foundation for my collection where I don't buy books that are water damaged. I don't buy books that are missing covers. I don't buy books that are incomplete. I don't like rusty staples, right? These are just some of the conditions that I've established for myself. Now, that does not mean that I don't buy low grade. I will buy a book with a tear, for sure. I will buy a book with tape, for sure, right? But there are some books that I just won't buy. And I have books in my collection that are probably 2s and 3s and 4s. Some might consider those low grades. I do. And I am perfectly satisfied with those books. Now, the reason for that is because they don't have water stains or rusty staples. They're not incomplete. They are blue label books. They have a certain amount of eye appeal to them, right? That when I pull them out of a bin and I look at them, I still love that book. Even at a 2 or 3, I still love that book. I don't feel, woe is me, why did I spend my hard-earned money on that book? And the reason for that is, again, I have criteria that I've established for my collection that basically says this is the no-go zone. And where if I went into that no-go zone, I would probably be disappointed with the purchase that I made. And so by staying away from that no-go zone, I have books in my collection, yes, that are low grade that I still love. Right? So again, if someone were to just hear the blanket statement, low grade is better than no grade, it has no texture, no context. And I think that texture and context, at least in this perspective, in this discussion, is so important for people to consider. You have to have a floor for your collection. You have to have some thought that goes into where is my no-go zone. Right? If I were to spend my hard-earned money and get a book that has a reproduced cover, would I be happy with that? If I were to buy a book that were missing a couple of pages, a couple of spreads inside that interrupted the story, would I be happy with that? Would I be okay with a book that is married up? Would I be okay with a book that had a missing staple or rusty staples or, was eaten by bugs? You literally have to ask yourself these questions. Would that make you happy? And if the answer is no, then no grade is better than low grade. So with that, I want to stop. And I'm going to wrap this thing up. And again, this is not intended to condemn anyone who practices low grade is better than no grade, that makes videos about this, that talks about this, that believes in this. This is not about me saying that you're wrong. That's not my thing. What this is intended to do is to provide people out there with an alternative set of things to consider, not alternative facts, but some other things to consider so that people can make more informed decisions about how they spend their money, where they spend their money, and what they spend their money on, right? So that's important for people to kind of keep in mind, is this is not me pointing my finger saying you're wrong or you're doing it the wrong way. That's not my gig. But anyway, I hope that you guys found this video helpful, maybe even informative. And I definitely look forward to reading your comments in the comment section, because I always learn a little something from those. So be sure to comment. Let's mix it up. Let's have a little bit of a discussion about this thing. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Where is your criteria? Where is your floor? Where is your no-go zone? Do you even have one, right? Does it matter to you? Let's talk about it. And if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, I definitely want to encourage you to do so that you can stay abreast of all the content that I release on a weekly basis. If you need to get a hold of me, don't hesitate. Don't hesitate to reach out to me at regiecollects@gmail.com and Reggie Collects on Instagram. I look forward to hearing from you very soon. Take care.